Head of man severed, cumulus clouds, drawn sword, arch ferries, winged, whirling hair, nimby, drawn sword and sickle, silver altar, smoke clouds, drawn sword, winged hexagram, winged child's head, winged angel's head, Medusa's head, king, queen, prince, princess, swords, dark brown, light brown, dark light brown, dark gray, dark blue, winged brown horse, driving clouds, drawn sword, head of man severed, cumulus clouds, drawn sword, arch ferries, winged brown horse, driving clouds, drawn sword, head of man severed, cumulus clouds, drawn sword, arch ferries, winged, whirling hair, nimby, drawn sword and sickle, silver altar, smoke clouds, drawn sword, winged hexagram, winged child's head, winged angel's head, Medusa's head, king, queen, prince, princess, swords, dark brown, light brown, dark light brown, dark gray, dark blue.
Have to go, so thank you for the broom.
I saw that text one of the things.
Bars fall from its point. It symbolizes invoked, is contrasted with natural force, for it is the invocation of the sword, raised upward. It invokes the divine crown of spiritual brightness, but reversed it is the invocation of demonic force, and becomes a fearfully evil symbol. It represents, therefore, very great power for good or evil, but invoked, and it also represents whirling force, in straying through trouble. It is the affirmation of justice, upholding divine authority. It may become the sword of wrath, punishment, and affliction. Number 4, the root of the powers of the earth, Ace of Pentacles. A white, radiant, angelic hand holding a branch of a rose tree, whereon is a large pentacle. Bars fall from its point. It symbolizes invoked, is contrasted with natural force, for it is the invocation of the sword, raised upward. It invokes the divine crown of spiritual brightness, but reversed it is the invocation of demonic force, and becomes a fearfully evil symbol. It represents, therefore, very great power for good or evil, but invoked, and it also represents whirling force, in straying through trouble. It is the affirmation of justice, upholding divine authority. It may become the sword of wrath, punishment.
Between such organized group. Yeah, and then that would essentially be the justification that it isn't a genocide because the population.
The lovers, paradise, and the shadow. Many of us remember the expulsion from paradise as recorded in the Bible and in many other traditions. Less well known, and yet also a part of our Occidental tradition, is the story of man's return to paradise, of the eternal life beginning on the day of judgment. Well, your day of judgment is today. We long for love, but we may also be afraid to love and or to be loved. Whether or not love makes us happy depends greatly on what hopes and expectations we hold about love. As long as you're looking for your better half, you risk being only half a person, or we may be looking for someone who is most like ourselves. Ask yourself if this is what you are seeking. For if you are looking for the one who resembles you in every respect, who knows and understands you intimately, that person can only be yourself. The more pronounced the lovers, paradise, and the shadow. Many of us remember the expulsion from paradise as recorded in the Bible and in many other traditions, less well known and yet also.
Okay, this is called Pentacles. Light brown horse, ripe cornland, scepter with hexagram, pentacle as zealot adept, barren land, fan, light one side only, scepter with cube, orb of gold, flowery land, bowl, scepter with orb and cross, orb held downwards, grass, flowers, grove of trees, scepter with disc, pentacle like that in ace, winged stag's head, winged goat's head, winged bull's head, winged ram's head, dark, dark, dark brown, rich brown, dark, 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 king, queen, prince, princess, pentacles. Light brown. Of the 36 deacons, here follow the descriptions of the smaller cards of the 4 suits, 36 in number, answering unto the 36 deacons of the zodiac, commencing from the sign Aries. The central deacons of each sign follow the order of the days of the week thus. Card, central deacon of meaning day, meaning established strength, material success, despair and cruelty, abundance, victory, material gain, sorrow, pleasure, great strength, material works, earned success, material happiness, being thus the 4, 3, 6s, and 9s. The first and third deacons follow the same order, Sunday beginning in the first deacon of Scorpio and in the third deacons.
The 36 deacons here.
The planets govern respectively deacons with the following titles: strife, sorrow, oppression, abundant success, success unfulfilled, victory, rest from strife, harmonious change, material happiness, shortened force, valor, loss in pleasure, material works, perfected success, dominion, despair and cruelty, prudence, pleasure, earthly power, established strength, ruin, material gain, illusionary success,
The planets govern.
defeat, perfected work, love, wealth, swiftness, earned success, material trouble, abundance, peace restored, great strength, unstable effort, material success, blended pleasure. There being 36 deacons and 7 planets, it follows that one of the latter must rule over one or more deacon, that the others. This is the planet Mars, to which are allotted the last deacon and the first, because the long cold of the winter requires a great energy to overcome it and initiate spring. And the beginning of the decanates is from the royal star of Leo, the great star Coriolis, and therefore is the first deacon. Here follow the general meanings of the small cards of the suits as classified under the 9 Sephiroth below Kether. The 4 twos symbolize the powers of the king and queen just uniting and initiating the force, but before the prince and princess are thoroughly brought into action. Therefore do they generally imply the initiation and fecundation of a thing. Realization of action owing to the prince being produced, The central symbol on each card, action definitely commence for good or evil. Perfection, realization, completion, making a matter settled and fixed. Opposition, strife and struggle. War, obstacle to the thing in hand. Ultimate success or failure is otherwise shown. Definite accomplishment, thing carried out. Generally show a force transcending the material plane, and is like unto a crown, which indeed is powerful, but requireth one capable of wearing it. Generally show a force transcending the material plane, and is like unto a crown, which indeed is powerful, but requireth one capable of wearing it. The sevens then show a possible result, which is dependent on the action then taken. They depend much on the symbols that accompany them. Description of the cards of the tarot. Solitary success. Success in the matter for the time being, but not leading to much result apart from the thing itself. Very great fundamental force. Executive power, because they restore a firm basis. Powerful for good or evil. Fixed. Culminated. Complete force. Whether good or evil, the matter thoroughly and definitely determined, ultimating force. Follow the particular descriptions of each of the 36 cards with full meanings. Deacon cards are always modified by the other symbols with which they are in contact. Generally, the Lord of Strife, 5 wands, 2 radiant angelic hands issuant per nubes, dexter and sinister. They are clasped together in the grip of the first order, the 4 fingers of each right hand crooked into each other, the thumbs meeting above, and they hold at the same time by the centers 5 wands or torches, which are similar unto the wands of a Zelator Adeptus Minor. 1 wand is upright in the middle, the others cross each other. Flames leap from the point junction. Above the middle wand is the sign, and below is that. Thus represent the decanate. Right in strife and boldness, rashness, cruelty, violence, lust, desire, prodigality, and generosity, depending on whether the card is well or ill dignified. Gebura, quarreling and fighting. This deacon hath its beginning from the royal star of Leo, and unto it are allotted the 2 great angels of the Shemhem Parash. 5 wands. Gebura of Yod, quarreling and fighting. This deacon had its beginning from the royal star of Leo, and unto it are allotted the 2 great angels of the Shemhem Parash. The proper meaning of the small cards is to be found by making thorough meditation and harmony between these 4 symbols of each card. It will be seen that this is how the meanings have been done, but the advanced student can go beyond this rude working. The Lord of Victory, 6 of wands, 2 hands in grip as the last, holding 6 wands crossed 3 and 3. Flames issue from the point of junction. Above and below are short ones with flames issuing, surmounted respectively by the symbols of 4 and A, representing the deacon. Victory after strife. Love, pleasure gained by labor, carefulness, sociability, and avoiding of strife. Gebura of Yod. Yet victory therein, also insolence and pride of riches and success, the whole dependent on the dignity. Tifereth of Yod gain. Hereunto are allotted the great angels of the Shemham Parash. Description of the cards of the tarot. Lord of Valor, 7 of wands. 2 hands holding by grip 6 wands, 3 crossed. a third hand issuing from a cloud at the lower part of the card, holding an upright wand which passes between the others. Flames leap from the point of junction. Above and below the central wand are the symbols of Mars and Leo, representing the deacon. Possible victory, depending on the energy and courage exercised, valor, opposition, obstacles and difficulties, yet courage to meet them. Quarreling, ignorance, pretense, and wrangling and threatening, also victory in small and unimportant things, and influence upon subordinates. Netzach of Yod, opposition, yet courage. Therein rule the two great angels, and of the Shem Hamfarash, the Lord of Prudence, 8 of Pentacles. A white, radiating angelic hand issuing from a cloud, and grasping a branch of a rose tree with 4 white roses thereon, which touch only the 4 lowermost pentacles. No rosebuds even, but only leaves touch the 4 uppermost discs. All the pentacles are similar to that of the A's, but without the Maltese cross and wings. They are arranged like the geometric figure of Populus. Above and below them are the symbols of Saturn and Scorpion for the deacon. Over careful in small things at the expense of great, penny wise and pound foolish. Gain of ready money in small sums, mean, avaricious, industrious, cultivation of land, hoarding, lacking in enterprise, hold of skill, prudence, cunning, therein rule those mighty angels, the Lord of material gain. A white, radiating angelic hand holding a rose branch with 9 white roses, each of which touches a pentacle. The pentacles are arranged thus, and there are rosebuds on the branches as well as flowers. Above and below, complete realization of material gain, good riches, inheritance, covetous, treasuring of goods, and sometimes theft and knavery. The whole according to dignity. Yesod, inheritance, much increase of goods herein, those mighty angels of rule and dominion.
Mean, avaricious,
The Lord of Wealth, 10 of Pentacles, an angelic hand, holding by the lower extremity a branch whose roses touch all the pentacles. No buds, however, are shown. The symbols of Venus and Scorpio are above and below. The pentacles are thus arranged. Completion of material gain and fortune, but nothing beyond, as it were, at the very pinnacle of success. Old age, slothfulness, great wealth, yet sometimes lost in part, heaviness, dullness of mind, yet clever and prosperous in money transactions. Malkuth, riches and wealth, herein are set over this deacon as angel rulers. The Lord of Peace restored 2 of sword of pikes, 2 crossed swords like the air dagger of Aziam, each held by a white radiant angelic hand. Upon the point where the 2 crosses, a rose of 5 petals emitting white rays. At the top and bottom of the card are 2 small daggers supporting respectively, representing the decanate.